So, welcome to Boxing Media Hub, sponsored by Falcon Contracting, and I've got a special guest with me. I really like this one. She's a great one. I just love to embarrass her as well because she's lovely since the day I met her, and she's not changed, even though she's changed in her life, in what she does, and stardom. It's Katie Healy. How you doing, Katie?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Very well. It's lovely to have you on,
It's
and the
been a while.
special guest in the background.
We've got Aslan, who does not leave my side, and if people follow me on social media, they'll know I'm a little bit of a crazy cat lady, just a little bit.
You certainly are, and that's why you get on so well with Rachel. Is
I,
you're just mad
I,
together, changing your hair, cats by your side. Just
my best. What can I say? What can I say?
this is it. This is it. Um, but yeah, 8 fights,
Hmm.
7 wins,
Yeah,
um, one loss or learning curve, should we
yeah.
say? I'm going to go straight to the beginning of last year, 10th of March, 2023. Catherine Quintana.
Hmm.
Um, win on points. Fantastic start to the year. Tough operator, but Katie Healy finds a way. But do you know what? What start to the year?
It really was, and I think the thing that really stands out for me for that fight back in March last year was it was a home show. So it was my first show in Wolverhampton, where I'm from. So it was so lovely to be able to fight with a home crowd. And don't get me wrong, I've fought in Birmingham, which isn't too far away, but to actually be like a 14-minute drive down the road from the venue was a completely different experience to the fights we've had on the opposite side of the world. But yeah, it was a really good way to kind of kickstart the year. I'd been out the ring for a little while, so it was really good to get back in there. 6 rounds, if I remember correctly. So it was a really good way to kind of kick 2023 off, if we put it that way.
And a 14-minute convenient drive.
It really was not a bad drive at all, I must say.
Let's not grumble at that. That's like the worst thing to say at a job interview. Why did you pick this job? Because it's down the road. It is, but it helps, especially always traveling everywhere. It's nice to have one on your doorstep. So a few more of those, please.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really nice to get the home crowd. Like the amount of times I have people saying to me, when is your next fight? Is it a local one? Can we come and watch? And it's kind of becoming one of those now where local to me is anywhere inside the UK, because it's coming quite familiar that I'm going abroad quite a lot recently. So yeah, it is lovely to be able to have people from home come and support and be there and just soak up the atmosphere. It's a really good experience.
No, definitely, definitely, and you deserve all the support as well. Um, but this one, I have to say, 10th of June, 2023. Now you had to pick someone that you had to fight someone that's really, but at the same time, just what a fight for the
Mhm.
WBA World Bantamweight title against Nina Hughes, who's lovely. You're two
Is
really lovely people. So when someone said to me, "Who wins this one?" I was like, "Oh, come on, don't do that to me." Um, it's what a fight. That
Mhm.
was a cracking fight, and to say that you went the rounds with Nina Hughes, and I know it wasn't the outcome you wanted. I know that, but some would say it was too soon. Some would
Mhm.
say it was the right time. You're going to get a mixed bag of people on this one. But what was that? Your seventh fight.
Yes, yes, it was. It was my seventh at that time. Yeah,
So
very
incredible to have a world title fight in your seventh fight.
yeah. It was crazy, and I think whenever I think back to that experience, my answer remains the same. That I absolutely loved it from the beginning of arriving in London and experiencing the whole weekend, pretty much the press conferences, all the media, the public weigh-ins. I just loved every second of it, and it was a fight we took on short notice. I think we got the call for it maybe 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks out from the actual fight. And it's a big decision to make. And it wasn't one that I made solely. It wasn't one that my team made solely. It was a matter of, we had the conversations between us and we weighed up the risks and the benefits to it. And for myself, it was kind of a win-win situation either way, because going in my seventh fight, being able to fight for such a prestigious title against a really good opponent, it was one of those opportunities I just couldn't turn down. And I just loved every second. And even the fight itself, don't get me wrong, it was my toughest fight to date. She's fantastic. She's such a talented fighter. When I come out the ring, I had so many people coming up to me going, "Are you okay? Like, how are you feeling?" And I must have had a grin as big as my face. I was just buzzing from the whole experience. And don't get me wrong, you go in there for the win every single fight. But I think you touched on it perfectly, that it was a learning curve for me. I learned so much from that fight. I probably learned the most in that fight than I have probably my entire boxing career so far, because I think when you get that loss, you really analyze every aspect and you go, where did we go wrong? What could we do better next time? But yeah, it's definitely a standout in my career so far. I'd put it that way. But yeah, what an experience. I can't even like put into words still kind of how amazing it all was. But yeah, definitely a good learning experience that's come so early on in my career that I can really push through now and take all of the learnings from that as well into my next fights.
And I think the amazing thing is you gave everything, training, in the fight. You just literally, you can't come out of it saying, I didn't literally put everything I possibly could into that. And that's all everyone asks. If you come out with credit from those fights if you put everything into it, because people go, do you know what? Katie Healy, what a warrior. She's gone in there. She's given it her all. She's come up short this time. She goes back to the gym. She learns more. She comes again. You know, you're young, which is really annoying, and you're just going to get better and better. And you can only take from those fights. The amazing thing is, Nina's done it late on in her in life as a boxer, and she picked it up 5th or 6th title fight. So she's in that similar boat now. It's learning on the job. You're just both at those different stages, aren't you? And I can't wait to see what's next. I know what was next, which was funny, that 8th of December 2023. This is just a comedy show, isn't it? Shelley Barnett, was it? Which was a win, split decision. But hang on, Cayman Islands, you crafty sod. Just a holiday.
Yeah, it was. Some people view it that way. But
were people right?
in a sense, yes, but not as probably as much as they think. Yeah. But I always say, if I had a camera that was following me around 24/7, people would change their perception of, oh, you're going abroad, you'd like a free holiday, etc. But it's hard work when you're over there, because don't get me wrong, if we had a bit of time here and there, we had a little time exploring the place and doing all the activities that we could over there. But it's still work for me, where I'm still cutting weight. I've still got to do my workouts. I've got to make sure I'm getting used to the altitude and the humidity. And then we've got the press and the radio and the weighing and stuff. So it was a really busy week, because I think we only had maybe six or 7 days there. I think we travelled out on the Monday, came back on the Sunday, from what I can remember. And a lot of that was travelling. And then when you get there, like I say, you're still doing your training and things like that. But then I guess the really nice part is kind of where you are and what you're doing. So it made me
I knew it was going to come into it. I just, it's...
Yeah, just slowly get into the nice parts of it. But yeah, the one day we were doing a workout and it was really hot, like really, really hot over there, which was brilliant if you've got to cut a little bit of weight, because it comes off you a little bit more easy. But I just looked at Gab and he was like, should we do it? And I went, yeah, let's go for it. And we just ran into the sea because I was like, Well, the salt is going to clean my gym stuff at the same time as well.
Oh my
But
word!
yeah,
You're even trying to justify your.
exactly. But that was a good highlight. But yeah, it was an amazing experience, and I know I've touched on how lovely it is to fight at home, but I think I love fighting away so much because my life can be really hectic back at home. I've got work, I've got training, I've got trying to live a normal life in the same respect and socialize and get everything else in as well. That when I go away, it's so lovely because I can just switch off and I can just really enjoy the moment and focus on the job that I need to do. So yeah, it was definitely one to remember. It was really, really lovely. Meeting the mayor as well. That turned out to be from my hometown in Bilston, and we got on really, really well. And it was just little things like that. It was an experience of a lifetime. And fingers crossed, we might be able to go back in the near future. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what's on the horizon.
Well, as I say, it's all experience, as you say. You know, some people will look at it that way, but I think they look at it through jealous eyes. It's a case of you're going over there, you're working, you're doing what you've got to do. I haven't been on a holiday where I've been punched in the face, so it is work. You know, as you say, you get to go there. It's like working from home almost, where you shut the laptop but you're still at home. So
Yeah,
you almost, when you go away, you're going somewhere knowing you're going for a purpose.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when you've gone there and you've done what you've done, hats off to you. You know, you still got to win. It's
Hmm.
not a case of you're going there and or it might be this opponent or that opponent. You've got to go there and face the person. You could
Yeah,
go there, struggle with the conditions. We've seen it with other fighters going away.
yeah.
So hats off to you, and
Thank you.
uh, you honestly deserve everything last year because, as I say, Nina's really sort of shot off, and she knows where she wants to head now and what
Yeah.
she's got to do, and you can just take that and go right
Hmm.
now. I know what I've got to do.
Definitely. Definitely.
So we've got some comments coming in. It's all live. Hi, Joel. I'm Miss Healy. Sounds very
Yeah.
formal. Your only defeat came against the one and only Miss Nina Hughes. Would you want another crack at her if the opportunity arises?
Very good question. And I think my motto is like, I never say no to a fight. I've never shone away from an opportunity. And if the opportunity was to come around again, I would definitely not say no to that. I think there's a lot that happens in the background that people don't see, especially when it comes to the matches and all the things that take place. And I rely heavily on my team as well. They are there to kind of put my best interest at heart and make sure that the matches that are made up are right for me at the time and all the other things that come into play. But yeah, like I say, I think my smile shows it all. I absolutely loved that fight. I learned so much from it. So yeah, I guess if I was asked again, I'd 100% be up for it. I think rematches are always good. Um, they're a little bit more entertaining as well because obviously we've
Yeah.
seen a fight that's already happened and then you've got the suspense of what way is it going to go now. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but I'd be up for it 100%.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. Hi, Katie. Is it super bantamweight you will fight next, or would you like to face the winner? Here's a good one. Stevie Levy versus Tyson Gallagher for the British and Commonwealth titles. Now, they would be cracking fights. That's Håkan in
Yeah.
Sweden.
So I'll answer the first bit first about the weight. So I am quite lucky that I can lose weight and put the weight on really quickly. So people have seen me fight from kind of 53 kilo all the way up to 59, 60 kilo. I think if I had to choose, super bantamweight, featherweight is probably the ones I'm the most comfortable at. So super bantamweight is probably, yes, the next fight I would go for. And yes, I would really like to.
Yes, yes. I will have both of them. To be
They're
fair,
both girls. They're both
yeah,
lovely girls. But yeah, I think I would just love the opportunity. I think they're both great fighters in their own right. I think
yeah.
it will be a very good fight between them. Um, And yeah, like we're all in the sport for a reason. You only live once. You want those exciting fights coming up, and you see the big names, and you kind of go, oh, I'd love that fight. I'd really like to give that one a go. And yeah, both of those names, I'd be happy to
I
get in the
think
ring.
Stevie's really shot up, hasn't she? And people really were with her on her ride and the emotional side of things. And
Yeah,
she's one of those like Becky Ferguson as well, another girl that's really sort of pushed and everyone's been on the journey with her, and it's kind of that great feeling, isn't it? And
yeah.
as I say, the chance of getting a piece of it, now's the time, isn't it? I'll say this time and time again. I've said it for the 3 years. Women's boxing is just flying. It is the announcement of Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow. And on Netflix, for crying out loud.
Netflix
It's
taking
incredible.
over the world, let's just put put it that way. I feel like everything is Netflix these days, and I'm not complaining because I do love Netflix.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If Netflix wants to sponsor her, by all means,
Yeah,
give her a shout.
little
She loves Netflix. There are other streaming platforms that should be happy as well, but Chris, while there's no special guests behind Joel, as always, that's not very nice, is it? Lead next. Some people. Carl has put best atmosphere you fought in front of Wembley Arena.
Oh, that's a really tough one because Wembley was so different. And I think one of the things that really took me by surprise is usually when I'm in the ring, I don't hear anybody. Like I've got a little bit of like, oh, what's the word? Like selective hearing. I can only hear Gav, my coach. That's it. And the only thing I could hear at Wembley was the commentators, because the
Yeah, yeah.
commentators ringside, that was all I could hear. So it was a really strange and different experience. But I think walking out to the crowd and kind of it being such a large capacity as well was absolutely phenomenal, and I think that one would definitely stand out for me. But even like the lead up and things like that, having the press conferences and the
Mhm.
weigh-ins, having so many people, yeah, I'd probably say in that respect Wembley was definitely the best atmosphere like that. But I equally love the home shows too. I think when you're in such a, I don't want to say small environment because they're definitely not small. Like there's loads of people that come and watch them, but I think just having it a little bit more enclosed and having family and friends and people that,
Intimate, isn't it? It's an intimate
yeah,
setup.
that's the perfect word. And I think that is equally like a really good
Yeah.
atmosphere too, because it's, people don't realize how much support means when you're stepping in the ring and you're stepping through those ropes. It means the world, and it just gives you that extra push. So I think, yeah, there's different reasonings behind each of them, but if we're looking at kind of scale and how big the venue was and the hype of it all, Wembley, 100%.
Yeah, yeah, no. It's just a cracking place, isn't it? Whether you're in the arena or the stadium there's just something about Wembley. It's just it's iconic, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
Jam has put Nina is a boss. Well, there you go. That told you, didn't it? Who would you love to fight given the pick? So have you
Oh,
got anyone in mind? Not that we're trying to push, we don't tag people on this. So is there
yeah.
anyone out there that you would particularly like to have a fight with?
Oh, it's a really tough one because I'll be honest, Joel, like I've never been someone to call people out. Like that's just never been in my
Yeah.
nature, probably, which is probably quite strange because we see it a lot now on social media. There's a lot of hype, there's a lot of back and forth, and it's probably something I do need to improve really. But I think it's just because like I'm so happy to just step in the ring and fight anybody. Like that has always been my mindset. Like I say, I've never shone away from a fight. Whenever the right opportunities presented
Mhm.
itself, I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong, there's like some big names within kind of all of the categories. We've already spoke about Stevie, we've already spoke about Tysley. I've heard names running around as well about like Shannon Courtney, you've got Bridges. There's so many girls out there at the moment with there's just so many opportunities. So, like I say, I trust my team 110%. Like they've never done me wrong. And whatever opportunities they present me, I'm always like, yeah, let's take it. I'm good to go. But realistically, they know whether that's the right decision to be making. So I kind of put my trust in them, but they know that I'll put in 110% and I'll give it my all. So yeah, I know that's probably not answered the question, but
no, I think it tells people how you are as a person and the sort of person that you are. You know, you're not someone who's banging on about, you know, what other people are doing. You focus on what you're doing and your team focus on what they're doing. And then you come together and you say, right, this is the plan. Who, you know, these are the options. What would you like to, you know, what path do you want to take, or this person's available. And I think that's how it works, isn't it? I think if fighters get too caught up in who they're fighting next, you can almost take your eye off the ball a bit, and you know, your training you can become almost fixated on someone, where if you're just doing what you do, I think this is what's got you to the point you're at now. So if it works, don't change it. You know,
trust the process. Trust the process.
Exactly. Chris is throwing one at you. Who wins? Can you see it on the screen?
I can, yes.
It's a tough one because it's a tough fight. But
I think because I've actually fought Nina, and don't get me wrong, I don't underestimate anybody when I get in the ring with them, but she's got this really different style about her, which I think fighters struggle with, like especially me being a lot taller than her. I punched her and it went straight over her head, and I just went, oh, okay, that's not in my head. So
if that was your reaction in your head, I was a bit worried. Oh.
But then
she's
again,
not there.
Yeah, that was exactly what happened. I was like, okay, I need to change something here. But I think I'm so rubbish with predictions. And the reason I'm so rubbish is you can have two of the best fighters in the same category, and they might struggle with each other because they're not used to their styles, or their styles are really conflicting of what their strengths are and their weaknesses. And I think boxing is one of those sports where literally anything can happen. Anything. You could have full faith in somebody and they could be having a bad day, they could get caught unlucky, or like I say, the styles just don't match up. So I think it would be good. Like I say, I've got a little bit more evidence with Nina, obviously being in the ring with her. But yeah, I'm absolutely rubbish when it comes to predictions. I get asked all the time for them, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. Can you help me?
So basically, the answer, Chris, is no. She doesn't know who's going to win. She just wants to say that when she hit Nina Hughes, she hit her above the head, and ideally, just punching lower would have helped. But she just kept moving. She kept moving.
I feel like I'm not answering these questions. People are gonna just stop asking them at this
Honestly,
rate.
there's another prediction coming up in a minute, but I think that could be a bit more of a. You might be all right with that one. If I had a magic wand, who'd be your next 3 fights? But I think already, we've kind of answered that one in the sense of the team are on it. They know the plan as to where you want to go, how you want to do things, and yeah, I think that's where that one sat, Carl. We can't keep doing this to her. Who wins though, Fury or Usyk? Now that's
okay.
That's more of a.
Yeah, I think.
Can you do that one?
I'm a big fan of both. I think they're both great in their own right. I think Usyk. Wow. I really do, and I know that's a really big statement.
But is it though? The guy was undisputed cruiserweight. He's
true.
What, unified world champion at heavyweight? He's beat Joshua. He's beat heavyweights. You know, he's kind of done everything that's been asked of him. Yeah, he's coming up against the guy, but
there's just something. There's something telling me. But don't get me wrong. Like Fury is fantastic. Like if someone can take a shot, it's probably Fury. But yeah, I think from the fights that I've seen recently as well, I'm kind of edging more towards Usyk side.
Well, there we go. But all I will say is I am just buzzing for your career, to be honest. People could chuck predictions at you all evening. There's another one, but I just can't do it to you.
No, I'm using start putting bets on because of my rubbish predictions.
Honestly,
really girls.
Katie's saying basically every answer she's giving, just put your money on it, put your house on it, put your car on it, marriage, go for it. Your cat, whatever. Not your cat. But
yeah, not the cats, not the cats.
anything but the cats. But that's like even Hawkan said, Emma Dolan versus Shannon Ryan, another cracking fight. To me, that's just a great fight. But this, I think this just proves the crop of women we've got in the sport of boxing at the moment, and the exciting times we've got ahead. And you're in the mix. There's some great fights out there for you, domestically and abroad. It's just an exciting time. And as I say, how old are you, Katie?
I am 26.
Oh, how disgusting! So she's 26 as well. So you're not even in your prime yet, and you've got a fantastic resume, experience, rounds. You know, you've got all that already under your belt. So the future's bright. And do you know what? I just can't wait to see what you do next. Is there a date that you're looking at for your next potential?
No, not yet. I've got a bit of a time frame in mind. We're looking at hopefully end of May, early June.
Yeah.
We've been working in the background, but yeah, I'm just waiting for that date now so that I can get back in there. So hopefully around that time.
So back to the Cayman Islands. So that is like just in time for summer. Yeah, honestly, I wish you all the best. As I say, I've always supported you, cracking person, and as I say, you've never changed who you are, regardless of what you've achieved so far and what you've got to come. I just think you're one of those people that stays so grounded and just enjoys every minute of it. And I think that's a massive message to girls coming into the sport. You know, it's women like you that they've got to look at as role models that just get into a career, something they love, and just enjoy every minute of it.
100%. Oh, that was very sweet. Thank you, Joel.
I know. I don't know what came over me. But but honestly, next time I see you anyway, you'll have a different hair color and probably another cat. So
maybe.
I know it's happening.
That's the problem. They're very expensive. It's like having children, but I don't know whether that's because I make it expensive. Like whenever I see a new toy, just have to get it. There's not a choice.
There's no choice. I like that. There's no choice.
Not a choice.
There's no choice. Honestly, Katie, you're a star. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you to everyone in the comments. But with Katie as well, follow her on her socials, get behind her, show her all the support, and watch the journey as she progresses onto belts, and just, follow what this girl's going to do. Amazing times. So thank you very much, Katie. And stay in touch and we'll catch up soon. Hit the subscribe button, people. And as Jam said, God bless Katie. What a way to finish. So
100%.
Thank you very much. And I'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you very much, Joel. Speak to you soon.
See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.